Hello and welcome to WDW UK Newscast, the pod. Yes, hello, welcome back. We've been away for a while. We've been quite busy, but we are back. So my name's Danny, and joining me today for this brand new episode of Chat is Andy.
Hello, everybody.
Lewis.
Hello.
And Matt.
Hello.
Yes, the boys are back in town because the girl's in Spain. Might be the reason.
It's all right for some.
And my children have finally started sleeping through the night again, so I can come back.
Hooray!
Yay!
Yay!
Hooray!
Chicken pox are the worst.
Yes, they are. How's everyone been? We've been away for a while. We're now back in business. How we crack a lack?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm fine. Busy.
Good.
Busy, but good.
I'm just pleased to be here.
Just happy to be here, yeah? Superb.
Wow, cheated.
Yeah, so we thought we'd come back and just have a little discussion about a few things that's happened since we've been off the air. We've got the dining plans returning, and we got some details on that. So I thought we'll have a little chat about that, and then we got a few other things. Maybe talk about that Apple Vision Pro with all that fun stuff that looked quite funky at the last Apple keynote, and a bit of Tiana's Bayou adventure. So, I mean, what do we want to start with, gang? Should we start with a bit of Tiana's?
Why not?
Yes. So we all know Splash Mountain is now gone, finito, bye-bye. And we all know it is being replaced with Tiana's Bayou Adventure opening at some point in 2024. I think a lot of people were quite worried that it was going to be replaced with, they're going to take all the animatronics away, be replaced with screens and all that fun stuff, because we all love a screen, don't we?
I thought it was going to be Runaway Railroad on a log flume. Yeah.
Runaway log flume.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, it looks like that there is going to be some animatronics in the attraction. 17 apparently, including multiple Tianas, Lewis, Mama Odie, and some of the people from the movie. But apparently we're going to have a load of original characters as well to go along with the new story to take us down the bayou of New Orleans. So yeah, basically, what are people's thoughts on sort of that news, with the fact that we've got a bit of confirmation that animatronics are staying in this attraction?
Not as many though.
I think it's great. I think people have fond memories of the original ride, and we know revamps happen. You know, they've done it with Small World, they've done it with Tower of Terror at Disneyland. You know, change is good, right? But to have a little bit of that legacy there, like you do in other places, is nice. It's nice for us to go and go, that's the frog, or that's the hen, or that's the steamboat, or, you know, something just to sort of take us back and remember. I think that's nice to have that little bit of legacy there.
Yeah, especially with the amount of animatronics that are in that attraction as well.
So is this confirmation that there's going to be 17 new ones, and then they could be, or 17 in total?
That's what I'm thinking, because 17,
apparently there's going to be 17 in total
throughout
the whole ride. So obviously that's a lot less than what we have at the moment currently with Splash Mountain, because there is a awful amount in that attraction. But also I think you've got to think of the amount of times you've ridden that attraction where half the animatronics haven't actually worked. So I'm not sure if these are going to be brand new animatronics. You'd like to think they will be. But again, they could just be refurbing some of the animatronics that are there already. Yo.
So I'm just reading this. It doesn't say 17 animatronics. It says 17 characters.
So there could be multiple animatronics of the same character.
Yeah. So I've read 17 original audio animatronic characters will be featured.
Yeah. So it could be more than one animatronic for each character.
That's true. There's bound to be multiple Tianas.
Yeah.
She's probably going to be like Frozen Ever After, where you've got Anna in multiple scenes and Elsa in multiple scenes.
It's going to be that weird face and like the
I hope not.
face.
I hope not, because is it Hong Kong Disneyland that are opening up Arendelle? Well, they're getting Frozen Ever After, and they're not using the weird screen faces. They are, and they look glorious.
Oh, I hope they update ours then.
Well, bit of luck.
Yeah,
bit of luck, you know, but yeah.
One of theirs breaks as often as ours does.
I don't think I've ever seen it go down.
Oh yeah, a few times.
I've been lucky then with that one, but yeah,
definitely.
So yeah, I mean, 17 original audio animatronics, which is going to include multiple of the same. I imagine they're probably going to reuse the Brer Bear for Lewis the alligator, I'd imagine, because they're sort of similar in shape and size. So,
do you reckon there'll be a little Easter egg nod to Splash Mountain, or do you reckon they're just gonna?
No,
but with the controversy, is what I'm thinking. Are they actually just gonna go? Nah, let's just forget Splash Mountain existed. Because we all know why they've changed it. We know why it's now Tiana's.
Yeah.
So, do you like? Are we just going to suddenly see a Brer Rabbit gravestone pop up next to Mr. Toad at Haunted Mansion?
Yeah.
And
that's it. That's where people go to remind themselves Splash Mountain was a thing.
Yeah. Well, I think that they'll put something there. It might be well hidden, but there'll be something there if it's in the queue or what have you.
It's quite normal for them to do that now, isn't it? So
yeah,
you know.
I mean, don't forget as well that you've got obviously the Toad gravestone in the Pet Cemetery at Haunted Mansion, but Toad is also in the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. There is a picture of Toad handing the deed over to Owl for the building, so he's there. You just have to really lean out of your honey pot and look at the floor.
But but the Adventures of Mr. Toad never got this much controversy as Songs of the South did.
Yeah, but
different generation way, different time.
Yeah, it just is. It is what it is now, isn't it? It's, you know, to be honest, we've said it 1,000 times already in the multiple episodes we've done. You know, as Walt said, it's not a museum. Change is going to happen. We sort of got to deal with it as much as we might not agree with some of the changes. And obviously, you know, I've had my say on a few things, but it is what it is. We've just got to deal with it now.
I mean, you would hope that, and I know this has not been like what's happened historically, but you would hope that now, you know, they will look at each attraction that they're changing and try and make it better. I mean, you know, you look at, I know this is a completely different kind of attraction altogether, but you look at Ellen's Adventures, and then you look at Energy Adventures, sorry, and then you look at Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. I mean, it is a much better attraction. So, you know, I know that's not necessarily that's what's happened in the past, but you would hope that's got to be the aim for the future, surely.
Of course, it has. The thing is I've heard it said 1,000 times on other podcasts and other YouTube channels and things like that. You don't mind the change if you're replacing what you're replacing with something better.
Yeah.
So I look at Ellen's Energy Adventure, and yes, okay, it was a very long attraction, but I did like it. I did enjoy it, and I am going to miss it forever. But Cosmic Rewind is out of this world, and
It's amazing, isn't it?
1,000 times better than anything you would get on Ellen's Energy Adventure. Whereas I look at the Great Movie Ride and Runaway Railway, and I don't think the same.
Yeah.
Now, I still think the Great Movie Ride is a far superior attraction to Runaway Railway. But it is what it is now. The Great Movie Ride isn't coming back. So I've got to learn to deal with the fact that Runaway Railway is here to stay.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've got to learn to love it. And I'm sure I will.
So what you're saying is Islands of Adventure has got some hard work ahead of it to replace Poseidon's Fury.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'll just take Poseidon.
I don't know how you're making that better.
Well,
I do.
Sinbad's not been open since the pandemic, has it? The stunt show.
Sinbad's been closed for years. I can't wait for it to become Zelda.
Yeah, it's definitely going to become Legends of Zelda.
Yeah.
It's all going to become a Hyrule Temple. It's going to be lovely.
Anyway, we've gone off topic there. So the some of the original cast are also coming back to voice some of the animatronics for Bayou Adventure. So Anika Noni Rose, the voice of Tiana, Bruno Campos, Naveen, Michael Leon, Wooly Lewis, and Jennifer Lewis, Mama Odie are all returning to record lines for the new attraction, and I'm sure we've got some new music as well coming with award-winning artists PJ Morton and Terence Blanchard, who will mix classic songs from the movie with New Orleans classics and original compositions. So we're getting some brand new mixes of what we already know from the film. So that sounds like it's going to be quite a nice little soundtrack as well.
Are we getting a Tiana series?
Are we getting a what?
A Tiana series, aren't we, at some point?
We
TV
are this
series.
year, apparently.
Yeah, so it's got to be some crossover there, hasn't there?
I'd imagine so. I imagine that this has been all linked together with this Disney Plus show.
Maybe the Disney Plus show is going to explain where the mountain comes from.
I mean, I'm guessing they've got mountains in Louisiana. I mean, apologies to anybody who's listening from the state of Louisiana. I've not really ventured out of New York, Massachusetts, or Florida, so...
Nobody's listening from Louisiana.
You don't know one day.
I'm very optimistic.
Oh, if you're from Louisiana, comment below. And tell us, do you have mountains? We'd love to know.
You know, I'm going to go make a fake account now just to say, yes, we do.
It's going to be called Louisiana Andy, is what it's going to be called. But, yeah.
So what I didn't realise, actually, was that PJ Morton was the keyboard player for Maroon 5, everybody. Just a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I went really high pitch there. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, you did. That's because my factoid was so good.
Nice. Very good. I like it. Apparently, the scent of beignets are going to be pumped throughout the queue as well. So,
yay. I like them.
I mean, so what have we got round that way as well? So obviously you've got the two retail spaces. You've got Splashdown Photos, which I imagine is still going to be where you purchase your photos, but obviously themed to the Princess and the Frog. But also you've got the Briar Patch shop that's just on the outer. So what are we thinking? Are we thinking that we might get a little beignet place?
I think it'd be rude not to, wouldn't it?
It would be, wouldn't it? If you're gonna do a ride based space around it and pump the smell in all day.
See, I thought we were going to be saying goodbye to Pecos Bills, and that was just going to become Tiana's.
Well, isn't there this rumour about the lands being completely redone up?
Yes, they've been divvied. I've heard that that Pecos Bills has been divvied up in half almost. So part section's going to be Tiana's, and then the other section's going to be still part of like, whatever. I think they're going to try and make it like part of Liberty Square. They're not going to change that to New Orleans Square. They're just going to make that whole section part of Liberty Square.
Right.
So, but
blimey,
there you go. It's
that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So,
but because I don't think they want
65 by the time they get it done.
Possibly. That means I'm going to be about 80 then, doesn't it? I mean,
sorry,
but yeah, I mean, I don't think they want to lose Country Bears.
I hope not.
No,
I love those little rascals.
Well,
So,
again, isn't there the rumor of some impropriety regarding some of the bits around that, like the language use?
Yeah, but that's already been chopped up into a million pieces anyway. It's already about 8 minutes shorter than it originally was. They've chopped so much of it out. So much. They've cut enough out of that. They don't need to cut any more. Let's not get silly now.
What would you do with Tom Sawyer's Island?
A movie into it.
No, the movie sucked.
No, the Country Bears movie was incredible. I loved it.
Back. No. You take that back.
No.
It was awful.
Barry was an amazing character, and he deserves love.
Well, okay. Should we get this one offline, brothers?
Yeah. Fight!
Unbelievable. But yeah,
songs too.
I'd imagine at some point in the distant future that the Country Bears may be given their P45s and asked to vacate the premises at some point.
I was laughing the other day. We were watching one of our videos where we walked past the Country Bear Theatre, and then the balcony in the second floor, whatever we call it, they stood there, they're waving, the guys in the suits. My daughter goes, "Who are they?" Don't matter, just keep waving. Just go on. I don't think they've ever watched it.
Also, Bodie with Wendell in Chell's vlogs.
Yeah.
So Wendell was messing about with Bodie whilst we were queuing for Aladdin magic carpets. That was good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can we just go? Sorry, just going back to Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Yes.
Has there been any suggestion that the ride might just change format in any way, shape, or form?
Not that I've read anywhere, no. At the minute, it looks like it's going to stay the same length.
Yeah.
And the same, the same track. Sorry, that's what I was trying to get that word out. Couldn't think of it. Track. So hopefully, I mean, it's going to be a long ride still.
Well, I'm all up for that.
Oh,
same.
Yeah. Same. I think this is where the music comes in as well.
But I think I'm questioning. I mean, I know Disney don't do things quickly, but I'm questioning the need for 18 months just to change some animatronics around. I mean, I know there's going to be some backgrounds and all that kind of other things installed, but still.
Well, I think they're changing the way the mountain looks as well from the exterior.
Oh, okay.
It looks like they've took some off the top, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think they've taken a bit off the top just so it doesn't sort of resemble Chickapin Hill anymore.
Right.
Because I think if it carries on looking like it, I think a lot of people are going to go, well, that's just Splash Mountain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas if you cut the top off, it's a completely different mountain.
Sure.
So,
no, that's cool.
Is it definitely going to be a mountain? Because I just realised Mama Otie's house sits on top of a really big tree.
Oh yeah, good shout.
Could they change the exterior to? You could change the exterior to look like a really big tree with a little. What is it? It's like a boat. It's like a little boat that's like stuck on a tree.
They did maybe. What a revelation!
Oh, if that happens,
What a revelation! Right.
Well,
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, that's Tiana's coming soon to a park near you.
Yep.
So
Oh, hang on. Have you seen the concept art?
no, I've not.
is it a big tree?
On the top of the mountain,
Where is it?
there's a big tree with a house on the top of it.
Oh, there you go.
Yay!
So
Tim Tracker just turned up again.
so there you go.
Don't he might
Wonderful.
be watching.
There we go. Very good.
One of Louisiana.
Was he googling mountains in Louisiana?
No, I said don't. He might be watching. And
That's
Andy said,
what's in Louisiana.
yeah.
Right. So the dining plan's coming back, everyone.
It is.
In January of 2024. I thought what we'll do is we'll go through what you get with each one, how much it is, and how it compares to what the price was pre-pandemic. So obviously we're going to have the Disney dining plan and the Disney quick service dining plan. The Disney dining plan will be one quick service meal per night of stay, one table service meal per night of stay, one snack or non-alcoholic beverage per night of stay, and one resort refillable mug. And then that is, we are looking at 94.28 per adult per day and 29.69 per child. So that used to be $78 for an adult and $30.51 for a child. So the child has actually dropped down by just less than $1.
Yep.
And then the quick service dining plan is 2 quick service meals per night of stay, 1 snack or non-alcoholic beverage per night of stay, and 1 resort refillable mug. And that is now going to be $57 per adult and $23.83 per child. And the pre-pandemic, it was $55 for an adult, $26 for a child. So the adult's gone up by $2. Child's actually dropped by $2.16 thereabouts.
Yeah,
or take. So yeah, I suppose first off, as a whole, are we quite happy that this has come back or coming back, or do we think this is going to be more of a hindrance than a help come January of 2024? Do you want to take it away, Lewis?
Yeah, is that all right?
Go.
So I feel that this is okay. Let's start from the beginning. From a UK point of view, we are very much used to having the dining plan as part of an offer to stay at Walt Disney World. So for me, this has been put together for the US market solely, really, because the US market love the dining plan because they don't have to worry about, bringing cash or whatever like that. They just know it's all paid for up front. It gives them that all-inclusive kind of feel. And so I feel that this is really kind of being put out for the US market mostly. the way I look at it at the moment, and as you've already mentioned about the different sections, I think the quick service is the better value, obviously, because it's only gone up a couple of dollars.
Yep.
And particularly, I think it's really nice that they've taken the kids' price down. I think that's really good. But for me, that means that actually the quick service has been the less popular of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Most people, I think, will go for the standard dining plan.
Right.
Because they can go and use it for character dining and signature dining, even though you've got to use 2 credits.
Yeah.
I think that's how they feel that they're going to make the most of their money. So for me, I think I feel that this is more geared towards the US market and the UK market. Having had conversations to some of my customers already, so far this year when they've been talking about it, that when they've seen the prices, they're just going, do you know what? We'll just buy our food out there.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly at the moment when we've got this merchandise credit offer for next year, and you can't offset it, so you can't use your merchandise credit to offset it against the dining plan. For most people over here, from what I'm seeing, I just don't think it's worth purchasing at the moment.
Right. Yeah.
Do you think free dining will be back for 25 or?
Just depends on how soft. So this year and next year is, I think. I have a feeling that something will come. I really do. I think they might bring the quick serve back for moderates and dining plan for deluxes. But possibly, very possibly. I think they might go back to the old system of the breakfast for the values, the quick service for the moderates, and the Disney dining plan for the or some kind of offer on it, like we'll do it for 50% or something like that. That kind of thing for the UK market to entice them to come and stay on site.
Yeah.
So I think it is slowing down for sure. You can see that in the US. That's why they're bringing all these offers in right now. So
yeah. I mean, I've looked through loads of the news when it comes to the dining plan stuff, and I don't know whether I've just missed it, but I've seen nothing about 2 table credits for signature dining. I can't see that anywhere. Now, whether I've missed it or not, I don't know. But I would be very surprised if that wasn't going to come back as well.
So 2 dining credits for signature dining, plus Akahus and Cinderella's Royal Table, and Be Our Guest evening as well. Yeah. And there was another one as well, I think, that was being added to it. I can't remember which one. But yeah,
that's definitely being
that's definitely been put in, yeah.
Fine, because I couldn't find that information at all. I just think I was looking in the wrong place. But have you guys used the any dining plan in the past?
Yes, I've had a free dining when I stayed at Animal Kingdom, and I've had the quick service. Plus, because we booked 2019 very last minute, I paid for the quick service plan thinking of the Bayou at the time. So my sort of negative towards the quick service is 2 meals a day, no matter what, are burgers or nuggets. It's very limited. When you look at the menu, it's very limited. Don't get me wrong, you've got Disney Springs like with Blaze Pizza and places, so it's probably a better option there. But when you get back to your hotel, so you're staying at the Coronado Springs and you're just knackered, you just want to go down to the food court, your choices aren't very, very good. And we thought about that last time when we went, because we paid for every meal. Obviously, there was nothing back at the time. And I kind of like the idea that of an evening, if I get back to the hotel around about 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock, because we've had a long day, I don't object to jumping in the car or getting an Uber and going to an Applebee's or a Miller's or somewhere else, spend the same money as I would have spent on that dining credit for that day. Because what is it per night for a quick service?
It was 55.
It was
right,
55.
So split that. So split it down the middle, right? Say it's 60. That's $30 a meal. $30 for a burger, fries, and no drink. Maybe you drink, depending where you eat. Or $30, you go to Denny's and get a decent meal.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see. I can see that.
I've done the table service. I did it in 2018 when we stayed at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. The danger with that one is, and I kind of planned for it, then forgot about it halfway through the holiday, is yes, you get a free meal. That meal should be $200. By the way, that's a 20% tip on top. Where's your $40? Because the danger is like, oh, this is like Benidorm in Florida. It's all inclusive. It's not. And I don't know. Some of the meals are great. Like Sanaa, fantastic. Boma was brilliant. Garden Grill obviously was absolutely phenomenal. And then we ate at places like Planet Hollywood, which was just like really expensive burgers and stuff. And although I like Planet Hollywood, it just wasn't.
Plus all the knife crime in Planet Hollywood.
Yeah, all that knife crime, Matt, in Planet Hollywood. People throw knives from
great.
balconies, didn't they? And they
I got
smack
stabbed
you on the
in
arm.
Planet Hollywood when someone threw a knife off the balcony.
That's right. I remember you
When
saying
my
that.
arm-
Yeah.
I got my
His
whole
arm-
meal
his
for
arm
free.
came up like a golf ball because this
Wow.
knife was thrown.
It
over
didn't
the balcony.
obviously break Skinner out.
No,
or-
No,
It
didn't
just
break
sort of went
skin.
down like that and went bang.
Cool. Imagine if it had though, you wouldn't be getting you'd be getting free meals for life.
They were like, "Do you want to press? We know who threw it. Do you want to press charges?" I was like, "No, it didn't. Like, I'm not
It's a
cut or
4-year-old
anything."
kid.
They were like, "Well, your entire meal is free." So I was like, "Sweet, I'll have the refillable beer, please." I think my meal
Brilliant.
alone ended up coming to like over $200. I just got
Oh,
the
yeah.
biggest of everything.
I said I've got to suffer through this restaurant as well. Can I have?
But
Wow.
I've never used the dining plan because by time I was paying for myself to go, we were I was sort of on a Disney break because we wanted to start our little family, so sort of put it off until Freddie was old enough, and then when we decided Freddie was old enough, the world ended and we all went into a lockdown. So we were like, oh, all right then. And then now we've come out of it. I'm like, oh, you can do it now. And it wasn't available at the time. But
it's not free. So go on,
Sorry?
mate.
Oh no, I was
No,
just gonna, I actually don't think I actually don't think I'd pay for it. I think I'd wait to see if Lewis is right and if in 2025, like if I went again next year, which I'm probably not, but if I went again next year, I'd just buy the food and know not to go crazy on the food and hope that in 2025 or something they bring it back as a come stay in our hotels and let us give you a reason to stay in our hotels again.
Yeah, but at the same time, we're going to massively inflate the prices while you do it.
Well, yeah. But it doesn't feel like that.
Actually, do you know what? I mean, I did the numbers so in 2019 and 18 when it was being offered for free, and it genuinely was being offered for free. So we checked it. I checked it the day before it went live, and then the day it went live, and it was being added on as a complete freebie. So But I mean, I've used the dining plan. I've had the opportunity to use the dining plan 3 times. The first time we just got a phenomenal deal. This was in 2013, so we stayed at Old Key West and got the main Disney dining plan included. And then the other 2 times we've had the quick service plan included, and we've upgraded it to the full dining plan.
I did that in 2017.
Yeah, and it's great value. It's incredible value, but there was just so much food. There was one day we actually had two sit down meals in one day, and just was like one at lunchtime and one. I think we went to T-Rex for lunch, and it was quite a late lunch. And then Catherine decided that she was going to book. I think it was the Akahus at 6 o'clock. So we literally were eating 2 massive meals in a space of about 4 hours. I was poorly. I was ill. Yeah. It's just so much food.
Yeah, no. I've done both as well. So in 2018, in 2017 we did the quick service dining, but it wasn't. We actually paid for it. It wasn't free. We had the breakfast.
Yeah.
Because we were staying at Pop Century, and we upgraded to the quick service, and it was something like $750. £750 was to upgrade to the quick service dining plan, and I thought that was quite good, all things considered. For two adults and a child.
Mm.
And then when I first took Nick in 2011, where were we staying? We were staying at Port Orleans Riverside for 2 weeks, and we got the quick service for free, and we upgraded to the Disney dining plan for it was like pennies.
Yeah.
For the upgrade. And I thought, well, it's silly not to do it. It was only like a couple of £100 in difference. So I thought, well, it seems stupid not to do it and show her all the different food places. And you're right, there was far too much food. Too much food. And back then as well, because it was the first time I'd ever used it, I wasn't aware that any unused snacks and dining credits and things like that, you can just pile all together in one big. So you can exchange any quick service for snack credits and then table service for snack credits, and you can just buy an absolute ton of snacks at the end. So we actually wasted so many snack credits because we didn't realize you could do it on that trip.
Right.
In 2017, we redeemed ourselves, and the amount of snacks we had left between me, Nikki, and Charlie, we basically brought Goofy's Candy Company home with us.
Actually,
oh yeah, I remember that.
I think I left most of my clothes in Florida. We bought another suitcase just to put all the snacks in. But I think if you're getting it for free and it's actually free, like you said, Lewis, I think it's a no-brainer. Yes, obviously, if it's free, you're going to take it, and it's well worth getting. I think if you get something for free and you choose to upgrade it, like we have in the past, like you said you've done, I think that's also a very good thing to do, as long as you're working out correctly.
Yeah.
Exactly how much it is, but we were eating everywhere. Sci-Fi, Via Napoli. God, we did Cinderella's Royal Table. There was a couple we did that were obviously Cinderella's Royal Table was 2 dining credits.
Yep.
So there was one day where we didn't have a table service, but it was nice to have that break.
Yeah.
But it's so much food. So much food. I think we went to the Plaza as well on the 40th anniversary day, because I was clever and decided to take her during the 40th anniversary, and we were in the Magic Kingdom on the 40th, and that was mental.
Yeah.
Imagine.
But yeah.
So I've been looking at this from a different side. I mean, obviously you've got to be staying on a Disney resort to get the dining plan, but the fact is there is actually certain Disney hotels that will never ever get free dining plan, and that's because they are DVC bookings, right? Now, I suppose the argument is if you've got your DVC account, you've paid off your mortgage, and your holiday's paid for, you're not really bothered about how much the dining plan's going to cost. But I've just done some figures here, right? So in my household, there's 2 adults, me and my wife, and then we've got 3 children. By the time we go next year, out of those 3 children, 2 of them will be over the age of 9, which means by Disney standards, we're paying for adults, right? Okay. So the quick service for 2 weeks for what we classified as 4 adults and 1 child, $3,514. Okay. If we did the Disney dining plan, so that's your quick service and your table service meal, we're looking at nearly just over $5,600. Would you gentlemen care to guess how much I spent on food last year?
2.
2.5.
Yeah.
That's because we had a couple of Disney meals.
Yeah.
That threw us over the and we had bloody good meals. I mean, the Dennis and the Applebee's we went to, the Millers, the Chili's. We did Black Angus one night. We had really good, substantial meals for the money. And we even got to the stage because of how much food there was that we're in the parks. Me and Kelly started ordering kids' burgers because we were saving $6 for a burger and fries, and the only difference was the drink was smaller.
Yeah.
And why not?
Yeah. And that's why I'm saying when you break it down, it isn't worth it for the UK market. I mean,
no.
And because we're used to having it free or in some kind of offer, it won't be. I'm pretty certain it won't be a big seller here.
But it's also the fact as well that we go for a minimum of 14 days.
Correct.
Where the American market, they go for 3 nights, 4 nights. They're not spending $6,000 on a dining plan. They're spending a couple of $100, and there it is. Bang! It's all done for them.
Correct.
Most US companies tend to only give like 2 weeks holidays and then 2 weeks sick days. So you use your 2 week holiday spread over the course of the year, then your sick days when you need random days off. So this idea of going to Orlando for a 2 week vacay, and don't get me wrong, if you're traveling from Washington State, you travel down, it's probably only about 6-7 hours on a plane from coast to coast and opposite diagonal. So it's a long trip. And then, if you're coming from Hawaii, that's probably equal distance than the UK. So there is people who are coming for like 5 days and then going, it's just the holiday culture. It's very, very different, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they look at you, don't they, when you say, I'm here for 14 nights, and they go, whoa,
what?
You're here for 14 nights? And it's like,
who did you rob?
God, that must have cost you loads. Yeah, it did. Yeah.
And but that's also why and I've said this a number of times before, this is why the US agents are so envious of our ticket packages.
Yeah.
Because really our ticket packages, we get 14 nights and we get 14-day passes for the price of what they pay for actually, I think it's 4 or 5.
Well, I had friends. I think I've said this story in the past. I had friends out there that I met up with, and they actually bought the UK tickets. They're Americans, but they actually bought the UK tickets. They were there for 5 nights.
Yeah.
And it worked out cheaper to buy our 14-day than it did for them to buy 5 days at, either online or at the ticket booths before the park.
Because that 4-day ticket is a 4-day ticket for day one is Magic Kingdom. Halfway through the day, they can't all of a sudden turn and go, I fancy Epcot. We can. We've got Park Hopper. We've got Memory Maker.
Yeah.
It's really good tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, just looking, the other 2 I found it, Lewis, the 2 table service meals will be redeemed obviously at fine and signature dining restaurants. Fairy Tale dining at Cinderella's Royal Table, Princess Storybook dining at Akershus, Banquet Hall at lunch and dinner only, and Storybook dining at Artist Point with Snow White.
That's the one. Yeah.
That's the one. So yeah.
What's Topolino's? Is that one credit or?
What is Topolino's? Is it a final signature?
Well, in the morning it's character dining, and in the evening it's fine.
Yes.
So that'll be 1 and then 2.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I that's what I would suspect.
And BL guests as well for some strange reason.
I know that's bizarre, but there you go. The other thing, just to note, and I don't know whether we mentioned this before, with the quick service, I seem to remember we used to get 2 snack credits with that, and it's now
it's the same with the dining plan. That was 2 because the way they did the dessert. So with every meal, you should get a dessert option, and the common feedback was it was too much food. People weren't eating the desserts. So you had the option of having your meal and then going and getting like a bagel or a beignet or something later on. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're back down to 1 with no dessert, aren't we?
Yeah.
And it's also 2 quick service credits for a pick-up pizza meal if you're staying at a property as well and ordering one of the big pizzas to take back to your room.
That works out, because you think, say it was you, Nicky, and the boys, that big pizza would feed all 4 of you. You're only paying for 2 people.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I first took Nick, we actually did it at Port Orleans and ordered a pizza in, and it was just a case of when I went down to the food court, they just scanned. It weren't Magic Bands, then it was just a ticket, and they just scanned obviously the ticket to do it. And then they took the 2 credits obviously that way. But yeah, like that makes, it's not the best pizza in the world, but if there's, like you say, Andy, if there's a few of you, it's well worth it because it's pretty big.
It's not a bad pizza. We've enjoyed them. I mean, we ordered a pizza when we were over there on Uber Eats. I kid you not, it was this big. We must have paid $80 for it. It fed all of us. We still had some left over the following day, and it was good. And it's
breakfast.
Yeah,
pizza for
can't
breakfast.
beat breakfast pizza.
That's it.
Best 3 meals you can have for breakfast is a proper full English pizza and last night's kebab.
Chinese is
We've all done it.
I will say.
I was going to say Chinese.
Yeah.
Sorry, Danny. Just following on from this, from the dining plan. This is not something that we spoke about earlier when we talked about what we might say. But I'm changing what I'm going to say, and it kind of fits in quite nicely. If that's okay.
Yeah.
My favourite meal ever at Walt Disney World returned on the 14th of June, which is the Garden Grill breakfast.
Yeah.
So there has been some changes to it, though. I think we've had a conversation about that already. So I'm still a bit dubious about the fact that there's not a proper cinnamon bun anymore. It's a cinnamon breakfast loaf. It's not the same. It is not the same. Also, they haven't added the potatoes, the little hash browns they used to have.
Oh, the potato barrels.
Yeah, they've gone. It's now cheesy. It's a cheesy potato casserole. So there's a couple of changes, but
what's up with these Americans and cheese? Cheese needs to be on everything.
I have no idea. And also, they and apparently they've got some grilled flank steak
for breakfast.
So that's been added in there anyway. So there's
breakfast steak. Ooh.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
So there's some pros and some cons, but I just thought it was nice to say that, recognise it's just reopened in the last week or so.
Yeah.
And so we're very, very much, even though there has been a change, and particularly with I think we could have forgiven the potatoes, but the cinnamon bun, I don't think we can forgive. So I think I'll be petitioning for that to come back as soon as we get it.
That was the main reason that I wanted to try it.
Right.
Honestly, it was the
if
best
that's not there, I'm not bothered anymore.
It was so good. Honestly, it was my favourite breakfast I had that whole honeymoon. Charlie loved it as well. He was like, the fact that you had Mickey, Chip and Dale, Pluto all in their sort of farmer harvest outfits, and you had this absolute decent amount of food in front of you as well.
Yeah.
You had Mickey waffles as well.
Actually, do you know what? It's still really good value. It's $42 per adult, $27 for kids. I know that you've got to pay tax and gratuities on top of that, but you think about the amount of food that you're given, and they just bring it out and bring it out and bring it out. And also, you will see the characters Mickey, Pluto, Chip and Dale at least 2, if not 3 times, because they just keep coming around. So it is great. It is still very good value, and it's definitely worth an option if people haven't tried it before, despite the cinnamon breakfast loaf.
How dare they?
Do you know what? I think it might be all right.
Probably, yeah. But it was that creamy, cheesy stuff on top.
I made it once. I made it. We did a big family breakfast once.
Oh yeah.
And I made the garden grill breakfast. And I made this cinnamon. Oh, it was mental, wasn't it?
That was great.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
It's something that we also do when we kind of come back and we make the kind of garden grill breakfast.
Yeah.
Without the fresh fruit funnily enough.
Yeah.
And
I did fruit. I actually made fruit. It was,
nice one.
I
Well
didn't
done.
make it. I bought it and put it in a bowl. It's already made.
But I think I've mentioned this before as well. But Tesco's do a cinnamon
Yes, they do.
bun, and
yes.
it's very, very close.
It is so close to it.
It's not far.
When I was working for that company,
Yeah,
and I was in the bakery, I made a point to bring it in to our store because we weren't meant to get it, and I made a point to bring it into our store just so I could smack it in the microwave. And I've got to test it.
Yep.
And I took one bite of it, and I went, "Oh my, that's Garden Grill."
It's so close.
Almost.
Yeah.
It's almost. It's not quite, but it's there. It's on a part. It's there.
The other one I like is: have you ever had the pineapple and coconut bread at Ohana's at breakfast? Yep. That's phenomenal as well.
Oh yeah.
It's because it's the same sort of texture as the cinnamon bun as well. So it was similar to a bun, but it wasn't. It was a loaf, and they obviously cut the squares out. And I would ask for that over and over again. It was so good, and I don't even like coconut.
Oh well, it's very good, and we had that last year, and they used to bring it out on a bit of a skillet again, and they don't do that anymore. They've kind of cut it into small pieces, and you have to keep asking for it to be replaced.
Yeah, no, that's what we had to do in 2017. They had it all cut up on plates, so as you met your greeter and they took you to your table, they picked up the amount of plates that you had and they took it over with you, and then it was, "Can I have more of that, please? Really nice." And some more pog juice, please.
Yeah, indeed. Anyway, we could talk about the food and the pog juice for a long time.
Actually, before we come off the topic of food, because I wasn't here for the for our trip review, can I just give a quick shout out to Maya's Grill in Coronado Springs? If you ain't been there, go there. Me and Molly had our little meal away from the kids, and everyone else took the kids off our hands, and we went there. We actually loved it. Food. It was incredible. We got these nachos, and
these what? Sorry,
nachos.
Say it again.
Nachos.
Okay.
That's how you say it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Right. And our server's like, right, do you want to add a protein to it? So the nachos are $15. When do you want to add a protein to it? I went, yep. We added steak to it. It may have been an extra $15, but it was the best $30 I've ever spent on nachos. They were amazing. Right. I got this. The drink that I got was it was called Dragone's Top Shelf, and it was like a so it was tequila, orange liqueur, something else, and then it had like the salt rim around it, but the salt rim had like black ants in it as well.
Oh.
It was crazy, but it was so nice. And because I weren't part of the trip, our trip review, I just wanted to mention it here before we came off of the topic of food.
And when you got like alcohol over there, did you get ID? Did they ask you your driving license?
No, we didn't get ID'd at all, which we thought was really strange because we both bought everything. I mean, I kind of didn't think I would get ID'd, but I certainly thought Molly would.
So nobody wanted to check your driving license?
No. We're not talking about that, actually, Andy.
What is driving license?
I came here to have a civilized conversation about Florida news, not to talk about how driving licenses expire, it turns out.
Moron.
No.
The thing is,
a bit like passports.
I know about passports. Yeah, I know passports expire. But the thing is, I knew the driving license expired, but I thought that you had longer than 10 years.
Just a quick question. This want to get your viewpoints. Do you prefer the black or the red?
I don't care.
I just don't like anything red, to be honest with you.
Oh, look,
Cool.
his team's won a treble. Look.
It's all right. You guys did really well this year with you Women's FA Cup
and the league.
Anywho,
Lewis, Newcastle in the champions next year.
I know. It's fine.
So dining plan. I think it's good to have it back. Can we have it for free, please?
I think that's the gist of it.
Yeah, in a nutshell.
A decent discount for DVC owners.
Yeah, we don't, do we? We don't, do we?
I don't think we do. I've sold a reservation for the new year. Let me see if it comes with any pricing options.
Okay. While he's doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anything else to add to the dining plan discussion that we haven't said already?
No, I don't think so. No, I think your summary is pretty good. You know, it's great to have it back, but it would be really good for us from a UK perspective to have a bigger discount or, you know, free, ideally.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely one of those, isn't it, where we need to have that offer. Yeah, I mean, what does anyone have anything else that they want to have a chat about? I think Andy, you had something that you wanted to have a little discussion about before we end.
Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, my favourite time of the year happened, and it's not just the start of summer. It was the Apple WWDC. That's the Worldwide Developers Conference, or in your local, it's WDW, as they call it. Bit of a software show. So they talk about the new iOS that's coming out with the new iPhones. The iPhones get released in August. But one of the big takeaways was something that's been rumoured for a couple of years now, and that was Apple glasses, as we call it. An augmented reality, which is where you can see the normal world here, and all of a sudden Mickey pops up, and a virtual reality headset. And oh my God, do I want one? It's amazing. Spatial computing is the word of the day, right? You can use it for FaceTime it, you can do work, you can do conference calls, you can modulate Excel spreadsheets, you can write Word documents, you can use your Apple keyboard in comparison, so you're not just tapping away on the table. And it was brilliant. But the weird bit, right? I've talked about my love for Apple. Anybody who knows me, it's Apple this, it's Apple this. And they were talking about things that will come out on day one. So you knew stuff like all the Apple stuff was going to be there day one, like Apple TV Plus will be available on the headset. And it's a great environment where you can just sit down like you're in an auditorium watching Ted Lasso, which is arguably the best TV program on Apple and in the world. And there's always been a special relationship between Apple and Disney, right? Bob Iger, who's obviously back as CEO, had a massive relationship with Steve Jobs. In fact, the reason we have Pixar within the Disney stratosphere now in this relationship between the two is because they were such busy mates. And obviously, Steve passed away. We've now got Tim Cook as CEO, and Tim Cook turns around and says, by the way, I want to introduce my mate, Bob Iger, who's going to come on. And straight away, from day one, Disney Plus is available, right? So you're thinking, cool, I can sit down in my headset, I can watch The Mandalorian on this massive cinema screen like I'm in Yellowstone National Park. No, you can use AR to go into the Disney parks and watch the Electric Light Parade, and you can explore around, and then you can sit inside a speeder while watching Star Wars. And all I could think was, I wonder if I could sell one of my kidneys to get one. It looks amazing. But think of it this way, right? We know the average family of four these days stay on site at Disney. It's got to be a £10,000 holiday these days, right? And that's a lot of money. And all right, these things at the moment, we reckon they'll be about $3,500 when they come out over here. But how great would that be for you to walk into an Apple store, try it on, and next thing you know, Mickey sat there bouncing around the Genius Bar talking to you? from an interactive perspective, wow. Yeah, sorry. Nerdgasm over.
Yeah,
I might get one on the Black Friday sales.
Yeah,
Might get one on the black market. Don't mind the rest of it.
It does look. It looks very impressive. It looks amazing.
It looks amazing. It's just, I can't get over the stuff they're doing with it. I mean, I just expected it to be Apple's answer to the Oculus Quest, and all of a sudden it does all this stuff. And you don't need these things to make it work. It works off hand-eye movement. Yeah, I was just absolutely in awe of it.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying earlier, before we started recording, and then I stopped talking, but I was listening to another podcast this week, the Disney Dish with Len Tester and
Jim Hill.
Jim Hill. Thank you. God, sorry, Jim. And Len was saying how he thinks a lot was actually cut from the presentation in terms of Disney park stuff. Mainly from a perspective of health and safety, because they didn't want to make it out that you could wear the headset whilst in the parks and things like that, because if you was to trip over, who's to blame? Disney, Apple, yourself, da 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 da. But from what Len was saying, it looks like that we may possibly get some sort of augmented reality stuff within the Disney parks to be set up on the Apple Vision headsets itself. So
Kingdom Keepers.
I mean, you could really Tony Stark this, and so you could be walking down Main Street at night, put the headset on, and actually a full size Main Street Electrical Parade would be in front of you, or something like that. And it's basically the next level of what you can do in a theme park without doing it in a theme park, if that makes any sense, what I've just said there. And it just it's, to me, it's very Iron Man-ish at the minute, all of this stuff. I look at it and all I think of is Tony Stark and Jarvis and all the touch screen and sliding things that are not in front of you but are in front of you.
Well, this is what I was thinking when I was watching the presentation. It's literally, has this been taken from Stark Technologies, or did Stark Technologies take it from the stuff that Apple have already done? Do you know what I mean? It's like, it just felt like there was such a crossover there. So
that's the beauty of science fiction. It inspires, doesn't it? I mean, we all know what this is. This is Star Trek, and Kirk to Enterprise, and we all know that the Jules Verne book From the Earth to the Moon takes place in Florida, and science fiction is that possibility of what if, and science fact is people dreaming that. Let's be honest. Your iPad is the tablet from the next generation, and somebody somewhere will invent a lightsaber one day. I guarantee you. And I'd be buying it and chopping my arm off. But that's what we do. We dare to dream these ideas, like we do in Iron Man, about these virtual reality and augmented reality sets, and all of a sudden, Tim Cook's on the stage going, "Here's the Apple Vision Pro."
Yeah.
It
looks a lot better than Google Glass. I'll give it that. Remember that, kids?
Yes. Yeah. In all fairness, there was a rumor of a second headset
that came over your eye.
And
yeah.
But sort of like your glasses, Lewis, but only like the top bit like that, only on one side, and it was quite creepy, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, it had there was rumors of a glasses headset, a pure AR headset, where it would just be augmented reality, but they could never get it to work, which is why they binned it off and went purely for the Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah.
But it's that innovation bit, isn't it, about what they're continuing to do. I mean, I can't wait for another 5 years to see the stuff these guys come up with.
We're gonna have an Apple Ready Player One type thing.
Well, I'm also looking at what what Apple have done here with this, obviously the Apple Vision, and I'm just thinking like Mario Kart at Super Nintendo World. That's all done through augmented reality with the Mario hat headsets that you get before the attraction. But what if you didn't need the Mario headset because you've already got the Apple Vision with you, and you could just put that on and it knows exactly where you are and what you're doing? You're riding Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge at Super Nintendo World.
So there's one slight problem with all this, right? And this is the bit that's going to make me look like a bit of a crazy tinfoil hat wearing kind of person. The Magic Band on an RFID receiver, Disney collects data off that, where you are, what you're purchasing, all that information. These guys are so strict about sharing data that Apple will never, ever release what you're doing on an Apple Vision Pro to Disney, despite their relationship. The other thing you got to think about is, all right, I've got an iPhone, I've got an Apple Watch, I absolutely love the Apple ecosystem, but my mate at work is an Android boy, and he absolutely loves his Samsung Galaxy Fold and his Android watch. That's your problem.
Listen, now I wouldn't be surprised if Samsung aren't about to unveil something that they're doing in terms of augmented reality as well, so they can have a sniff of what's going on here too.
They don't need to, because Samsung have got their own equipment. They use an Android OS system. That's exactly what your Galaxy Quest uses. It's an Android iOS system. You know, which is why it's dead easy to jailbreak and download games for free.
Don't do that, kids. Don't do that, kids. And for any law enforcement officers watching this, he was just joking. He definitely doesn't do that.
I would never do that. I would never, ever risk my developer licenses on Android or Apple.
Yeah. He definitely didn't wink either.
Sorry, I've got... It's like a Twitch.
Yeah. Right. Does anyone have anything else they want to talk in terms of Disney parks, Universal, SeaWorld? I don't know. The surfboard roller coaster looks fun.
I was going to say that looks pretty decent.
Looks very fun.
I said SeaWorld, like mini joking, but then I remembered that they opened up a wicked new roller coaster, which does look awesome.
I'm making sure to do SeaWorld next time I'm there. Yeah. There's too much news. It's not even half the stuff that's new there for me now isn't even new anymore by theme park standards, but it's basically an entire new park to me now.
Yeah.
And it's just all, I mean, it's the roller coaster capital of Orlando, which is insane that SeaWorld has that title. But look at it, it deserves that title.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going back there when I next go.
I mean,
Epic Universe.
We said we're going to take a break from Universal next year. We're probably going to wait till Epic Universe opens to go back.
Yeah.
But
I was just saying there, it is coming along nicely. Epic Universe.
Yes.
The construction looks just phenomenal.
Mm.
They've got the dueling coasters practically done in the middle of the park. A lot of Nintendo World is up there. How to Train Your Dragon is looking good. And then what we got? We got Monsters and more Potter, haven't we? Because you can never have too much Potter.
Yeah, it's the Ministry of Magic in Paris, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
It does look cool. It looks very cool. But I'm with you, Andy. I think we were having a conversation about Universal for next year. I think we are going to skip Universal next year and do SeaWorld.
Say unless you're going for 3 weeks or a month, I don't see how you fit it all in now.
Yeah, you've got to choose now.
No.
I mean, you have to choose one or the other now.
That's what me and Molly were talking about for when we eventually go next. We've got to choose one or the other. But strangely, we've actually chosen Universal.
Interesting.
I've decided. We've decided. our next trip is going to be just Universal, and we'll go to Disney Springs to get my Disney fix. 'Cause don't get me wrong, I still love Disney, and I had the best time being there, but very different. Very Disney's very different to what I left back in
2014,
2015, or whenever it was that I last went. It's a very different park now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think what we do fancy doing, we do fancy Kennedy. I haven't been since the late 90s to Kennedy, and I believe it's supposed to be really enjoyable with the displays and the bits. So.
Yeah, that's another thing that I'd like to do as well, and things like that we never get to do. Like, I know you guys, the Perrin family, have done it a number of times, but like Gatorland, I haven't done that for years. And
so cool.
Yeah, just something different. We're very fortunate because I think I've mentioned this to you guys before, and the listener probably knows that we've got 4 big birthdays in our family over the course of this year and next year. So we're going for 3 weeks next year to sort of celebrate. And so yeah, we are staying there for that amount of time, but we've decided that we're not going to do Universal this time. So
yeah, I think the thing is as well with Universal is that you don't. I mean, I know we don't take advantage of the ticket that we get, which is the 14-day multiple. You don't take advantage of it because you spend 80% of your time in Disney.
Yeah.
So you end up going to Universal and you go, oh, I haven't got this done at Universal, or I haven't got that done at Universal. And it's because, again, with us, it's because obviously small kids, you're going to spend more time at Disney. If we'd have thought about it, it probably would have been better for us to just go, let's just do Disney for 2 weeks and not worry about Universal. That probably would have been the better thing to do. Where when we next go back, we are solely doing Disney. But then I look at it and go, well, Epic Universe should be open by then. How can I not go to Super Nintendo World? And now I'm going, right, am I just going to have to buy a 1-day ticket to Epic Universe? Or are we actually going to end up doing Universal again? And it's
a toughie. It is a toughie.
So hard.
But even with because like last year, I know I've mentioned this, we're over doing old ground now. But like I said, last year we stayed at Lowe's Royal Pacific. We had the express passes, and that didn't even help really.
No.
The express passes were not really worth it because everybody uses them.
Yeah.
So.
But a bit like the Genie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just not. They're not beneficial to anyone, either of them. People can moan all they want about Genie and go, "Oh yeah, but with Universal, you get it for free here and you get it for free there." They still ruin everyone's day.
Yeah,
it doesn't make a blind bit of difference. The only thing with Universal is you're paying a ridiculous amount of money every day, should you choose to purchase it.
Yeah.
Where at Disney, you're not paying anywhere near that.
Absolutely. No, I agree. So, anyway, there you go.
Yes. So, if nobody's got anything else to add, I think that's probably going to do it for our little catch-up chat and of things.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Right. So, thank you very much for watching, listening, however it is you do. Enjoy the show of nonsense. If you have watched on YouTube, we do ask like and subscribe. Please, it would be very, very helpful to us. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, you can catch us on social media, WDW UK Newscast on both Facebook and Instagram. That's about it, really. Yeah.
Good summary.
Good summary. Good summary. She's not here, but I'm going to plug her YouTube channel anyway. Chelsea's Adventureland. Chelsea, obviously, mine and Matt's sister, and she vlogged our entire trip that we've just recently come back from over the last couple of months. And I think we're on day 7's just been released. So she's got about, well, she'll have 7 more days, won't she? So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh, cool. Yeah, well. Yes, so that's going to do it for this week / bi-weekly / monthly, whatever it is we're doing now. Our schedule's all over the place. Episode of WDW UK Newscast, the pod. Have a great, big, beautiful day. And remember, tomorrow is just a dream away. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.